Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about video games. Now, there's a very hyped up game coming out, scheduled later this year, and it's a pretty massive one for the PlayStation franchise. It's called Horizon Forbidden West. It's actually a sequel to a very highly respected, very critically acclaimed game called Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, Horizon Forbidden West is slated to come out in either Q3 or Q4 of 2021. One of the most hyped games coming to the PlayStation 5, hopefully in the near future, and unfortunately there's a lot of debate going around, primarily focusing in on the main character of the game and the design, and it's kind of splintered the community, and it's created a debate that I personally find pretty much unnecessary to begin with. Now, if you know nothing about the Horizon franchise, the main protagonist so far in the series is a girl named Aloy. And during a recent reveal from PlayStation showing some gameplay and screenshots and whatnot, a debate broke out about the character design, and it all actually kind of focused around just one tweet. One tweet seemed to have sparked this entire debate, or at least like the vast majority of it that I've seen. Is it me, or Sony be making their lead female protagonist look masculine as hell, barely no curves or rough non-feminine features, unlike the average woman, like cough cough, The Last of Us 2's Ellie, etc., just saying hashtag my 2 cents, pick from the game on the left, fan-made art on the right, higher fans LOL. So this created an absolute shitstorm over on social media surrounding this game and the entire character design and I guess women in video games. It's just a big debate that's been going on pretty much ever since. Plenty of opinions have been thrown around, most of them have been pretty critical of this tweet. Just to highlight some of the, I guess, responses to this entire situation. Men will see women with their hair up and no makeup and be like, quote, "Is this a man?" Ah, yes, the woman who lives in a post-apocalyptic world trying to fight to survive should totally spend precious time and resources, checks notes, on fake eyelashes, makeup, and waxing. I've never played the game, to be fair, but on the left we have a woman with a bit of a sunburn, some freckles, and a hard expression that feels much more fitting for robot hunting than whatever fashion model cosplaying a warrior is on the right. What pisses me off the most with the one of the R is they literally changed her entire face shape and got rid of her freckles to make her look like an average Barbie doll. And the fact that she's fucking smiling in this post-apocalyptic world is just ridiculous. That's just a small sample of the overall kind of backlash to this tweet and the debate that's kind of sprung out around this. Now, as someone who plays a lot of video games, I kind of want to throw my opinion in here a little bit, so I don't necessarily understand the backlash around the design of this character. I don't really understand why the picture on the left was something that was just so nonsensical, such horrible character design, that like it would just make the game unplayable, or it's even really worthy of like being upset about in any way. I mean, obviously not every woman looks like a complete fucking supermodel, especially in a post-apocalyptic world. I mean, when you're basically hunting robots, and that's like the basis of the game, trying to survive in a complete fucking, destroyed wasteland or whatever, I'm pretty sure you're not gonna look anything like the picture on the white. I mean, this bitch looks like she's wearing a Crest white strip on her teeth. She's got makeup on and everything. Like, I mean, we're complaining about realism in this character design, but then complaining that the character is a very realistic representation of what I would honestly expect a woman to look like in the post-apocalyptic society that the game portrays. I honestly don't think that the character design is ugly. I feel like it's actually very well polished and tuned. I mean, you can see extremely fine details in the character. Obviously, this is very theatrical. I really doubt that this may even be what the game looks like without cutscenes. But I don't really see the point in being upset, complaining, or being mad about it. I mean, this is, I would say, a very realistic representation of what some women would look like. And I'm not really seeing a reason to complain personally. I'll probably end up getting the game and playing it. And it's not going to be something that destroys my enjoyment of the game. I mean, for me, when I'm playing a video game, right, like the things that I like to focus on, the things that I really do care about, sure, your character design is definitely important, but I mean, whether or not that they're attractive, that I would fuck them if they were real, not necessarily something that I personally give a shit about. Especially in a game like in a Horizon game, I'm looking for, is the open world reactive? Does it have things for me to explore? Do I enjoy the main storyline and even some of the side missions? Is the combat fun? Does the game make me want to come back and play it? Those are the things that I personally focus on as someone who plays video games, because I feel that those are probably the most important elements of the game itself. I mean, focusing in, I believe, on these nonsensical fucking details about character design, I think actually really hinders your enjoyment of a video game. I think if you're too focused on whether or not you'd fuck the main character, you're probably not playing the game the right way. You're probably not really enjoying the video game. And at the end of the day, I think it's kind of weird, right? Like, what is the obsession with the looks of this character? I don't get it. Like, if I'm playing a Fallout game, I don't need the woman that's in the game to be a complete fucking Barbie doll. You know, I don't need a supermodel. I'm not looking for some Instagram model in a Fallout game or anything like that. I don't understand, man. Like, are you worried about fucking these characters? Because, like, they're fictional. You realize that, right? You're talking about pixels on a screen, and you're worrying about the attractiveness of it. I mean, I feel like there's much more important things to be focusing on than whether or not a video game character is cute. But unfortunately, we do live in a world where this is a big deal to people who play video games, and I feel like that this kind of shows a pretty massive issues in video games in general, right? I feel like over the last few years, games have become way too dependent on free-to-play models. They've taken out very basic elements of gameplay that people used to enjoy in video games right off the shelf. They've been putting them behind paywalls, paid DLCs, expansions, and fixes for games that were incomplete at launch 2 years after they came out. And people will eat these fucking games up. They love it. They can't get enough of it. They don't care. But then they focus in on things like the character design, whether or not that the character has big tits, a big curvaceous ass that jiggles every time that they shoot their bow and arrow. Every time you step in a puddle, does the water physically react with the fucking booty and the jeans? Like, it's ridiculous how some people take this shit so far. I mean, it's possibly the least important thing going on in your life, and yet people actually, like, care about shit like this, and they determine their enjoyment of video games off of things like this. I don't really get that. I feel like the video game industry has much bigger fish to fry than whether or not a fucking character's cute. And the thing about a game like Horizon is I don't expect it to come out with shittily slopped out DLC or anything crazy like that. It seems like it's a pretty complete experience, maybe needing some fine tuning and some day one patches or whatnot, but I mean, looks like it would be a pretty enjoyable experience right off the purchase. And I don't know, man, I don't really give a fuck about the attractiveness of digital created characters, right? Like, if you think about it, this is basically just a Blender file that you're fucking gawking over, you know, that you're measuring the attractiveness of. At the end of the day, like, you're never gonna have to worry about it because you're never gonna fuck it, right? You're never gonna fuck this person. But at the end of the day, also, it seems kind of insane that this is like an unrealistic representation of women in video games or whatever. But also when you compare the fact that this character in particular was actually designed after the woman you're seeing on screen by the name of Hannah Hoekstra, which is a Dutch actress. So we're talking about how unrealistic of a representation or whatever that this character is for a video game set in this era, but I mean, it's modeled after an actual person in real life who is an actress, right? At the end of the day, I wish people in video games would focus more on the actual important elements of the game and actually focus on making good consumer decisions based on real issues with games than whether or not they can hump their hand to a fucking picture, right? I mean, it doesn't totally surprise me that some people are this way and that a big debate is broken out over this, but it just seems pointless. And on the contrary, I think maybe some people take it way too seriously, right? There's a lot of people who are taking this as an example of all gamers are a bunch of fucking weirdos, all a bunch of incels, things like that, and I really don't see that logic either. I mean, we're talking about what I believe to be a vocal minority of people who are going to play this video game, even giving remotely a shit in the first place. I don't really see this as an opportunity to attack everyone who plays video games. I think that's also quite ridiculous. Now, with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, not really caring about booty jiggle physics and the beautiness of a character in a video game, and signing out.